Hello, dear students. Hope you are all fine and established by the grace of Almighty Creator. Today, I will conduct another virtual class for the students of class 6 English version. Okay, agriculture studies. I have conducted only one class with agriculture studies for the limitation of time, because in English version there is no more section. That's why I have to try to complete my syllabus, complete your syllabus lonely. Okay, there is no segmentation among the teachers in English version because there is only one section. That's why I'm sorry for my limitation. Today I will conduct another virtual class with the chapter number 3, agricultural inputs. I have completed 4 lessons in first step in class 1, and today I will discuss the rest 8 lessons in this chapter, agricultural inputs. Before, I want to tell you that after completing today's discussion, today's class, we are all able to learn about the necessity of irrigation. Then we will be able to learn about the necessity of water in the agricultural activities. Okay, like in the fish culture, others in irrigation. And let's learn about the seeds. Seeds, plant. If we want to plant trees, if you want to plant the agricultural crops, we have to learn very strongly about the seeds quality, about the characteristics of different kinds of seeds. Seeds, the variation of seeds, the typology of seeds, we have to learn. You will follow the textbook and read the text carefully, and you can get help from the Bangla text if you will face any complexities with the convenience system. You will get help from your Bangla version book, and you will be able to absorb the gist of the lesson. Okay, please attentively listen what I want to say to you. Learn about the seeds. Yes, about the many kinds of seeds, the typology of seeds. The typology of seeds: cotyledonous, bীজপত্রী, monocotyledonous, dicotyledonous, polycotyledonous. Okay, seeds. Okay, we learn about this kind of typology, and we are all able to learn about the many kinds of fertilizers and the use of this kind of fertilizers in our agricultural activities. Okay, this is our learning outcomes. So let's start our discussions according to the lessons. According to the lesson, this descending method, we will discuss about the rest 8 lessons of this chapter. Lesson number 5, necessity of irrigation. In your textbook, there is a detailed explanation about the necessity of irrigation. So without irrigation, we can't plant any kind of crops, because irrigation is related with water. That means supplying water to the field is called irrigation. So, what is the importance of irrigation? We can realize without reading, because without water, no animal, no plants, okay, can't live. So, supplying water to the paddy field, to the vegetable fields, to the forest, okay, we have to maintain the environmental setting in the natural forest, in Sundarbans, or in Shalbans, in the midest part of our country, okay, and the natural forest in the northeast part, and the southeast part of our country. We are the southeast. We are the inhabitant of the southeast part of Bangladesh. Bandarban, Khagrachari, Rangamati, Chittagong. Okay, at the southeast part of Bangladesh. We have the natural forest. In the midst of the country, we have the plain forest, plain natural forest. Okay, midst. Okay, and the western, southwestern part, we have a very large, the world largest mangrove forest called Sundarban, Potuakhali. Okay, in Potuakhali, Khulna, Bagherhat. Yes. Use of fertilizer. This is the necessity of irrigation. Yes, if the necessity of irrigation by the root, the plants can absorb the water, can absorb the many kind of nutrients and the minerals by the help of irrigation, with the help of water. So irrigation is very important for the farming, for agriculture. And the next lesson is water for fish culture. Yes, water for fish culture. What is fish culture? That means fishing. Okay? No, sorry. Fish culture means if we want to cultivate fish commercially, this is called fish culture. Generally, I have a pond in front of my house. If I put some fish there, it will help us to eat fish sometimes. But if I want to make money from the fish cultivation, fish culture, I have to learn about the water quality, the clearness of water, about the sunlight, okay, for the good production. Like this, water for fish culture is the physical properties, physical characteristics of water should be. You have to maintain the water color. What kind of water color? The good water will be greeny, okay, within 25 centimeter. 25 centimeter. The clearness of water is more than 25 centimeter will be the good water for the fish culture. Okay, greeny ingredients. Okay, the plankton will be the food of fish. If the fish will be green properly by the plankton, the water will be ideal for the fish culture. And then clearness of water, we have to maintain the clearness of water. There is a scale in your textbook for how the water will be clear for the ideal fish culture. And this water color and the depth of water. If we want to culture fish in a pond, the depth of the pond generally 2.5 meter or the 2 meter, that means 6 feet. If we go to the water, enter into the water, if I be sunk into the water, it will be the proper water layer. I think this is called the water depth, 2.5 meters and or 3 meters. 2.5 meters or 3 meters will be the depth of the water. Okay. Water temperature. What will be the temperature of water for the fish culture? The general or the ideal temperature will be 25 to 30 degrees Celsius will be the proper temperature of the water for the fish culture. And then sunlight. Proper sunlight have to go to the water for the good fish cultivation, good production of fishes. If we have to cut down the trees around the pond for good production, proper sunlight will be pressed into the water for maintaining the quality of water. Without the sunlight, the proper temperature will not be maintained in the water. This is the problem. Okay. Now, water for livestock. Water for livestock is very easy. That means the cows, goats, hens, is the livestock. We have to feed our livestock, the commercial livestock projects, the clean and pure water. If it is not good to supply unclean water to the livestock. As a man, we drink clean and pure water, we should provide our livestock the clean water for keep them free from illness. Yes, importance of water for livestock. You can learn from the characteristics of sheets. What is the characteristics of sheets? The good sheets have so many characteristics. Characteristics of sheets. All the characteristics of good sheets are all the same. Sheets have to be pure. If we mix many kind of sheets, many varieties of sheets within, it will not be able to give us good crops. But we have to keep the purity of varieties. We have to keep the purity of varieties. And if we mix many kind of paddy seeds with a mixture, the paddy production will not be good. So we have to keep the purity, keep the varieties segmented for the good productions. And classification of seeds. Seeds may be many kinds. In a bird, seeds are generally three kinds: monocotyledonous, dicotyledonous, and the polycotyledonous. That means ekbijpotri উদ্ভিদ, দ্বিবীজপত্রী উদ্ভিদ, বহুবীজপত্রী উদ্ভিদ. Monocotyledonous. What is the monocotyledonous? Paddy is the monocotyledonous. The seeds are not generally segmented in two parts, but the mango seeds is generally two parts. Okay, mango seeds generally two parts. And the maize two parts. Okay, this is the cycas. We know about the cycas, like the dead plant. Cycas is without cover. Nogno-biji uddbid. This is also a kind. Okay, abrito-biji, nogno-biji, with cover, without cover. That means coated sheets, uncoated sheets. Coated sheets, uncoated sheets. Like this. Mango is a coated sheets. Paddy is a coated sheets. Okay, but the cycas is a uncoated sheets. Okay. Pine. Pine is a polycotyledonous sheets. This is the character. It's a classification of sheets. You can get help from your text. I'm sorry because I have to complete the lessons within a fixed time. That's why I am telling about the important parts only. And then classification of fertilizer. Classification of fertilizer. You know about the fertilizers. Fertilizer means okay, grain manure, chemical fertilizer, organic fertilizer. Okay, yes, biomass plant. This is the organic, and the cow dung is the organic fertilizer. But the chemical fertilizer is very important. We have to know the system of applying chemical fertilizer, because so much chemical fertilizer cannot give us good crops. That's why you have to learn about the composition of fertilizer in the particular food production, particular agricultural production, particular part of the agriculture. Otherwise, please look at the part. This is the urea. Urea supply the nitrogen. Urea supply nitrogen to the plants, to the crops, to the plants for the betterment, for the good crops. And the TSP supply the phosphorus and calcium to the plants. Okay, in the field. MOP generally supply the potassium. Potassium can reduce the diseases in plants, especially in leaves. Okay, sometimes our plants leaves become yellow. Potassium keep the leaves green. Okay, and then DAP supply nitrogen and phosphorus to the plants. Okay, in our agriculture. Gypsum, sulfur. Gypsum supply sulfur and calcium. Sulfur, calcium, zinc, nitrogen, potassium, magnesium are the fundamental elements of the world of the earth. There are 109 or 118 fundamental elements in our universe, in our world. Everything, each and every ingredients, each and every parts of our earth is made by these kind of ingredients: iron, potassium, zinc, sodium, calcium, magnesium, strontium, uranium. Okay, all of these, the only 109 fundamental ingredients, fundamental bodies in the world. Zinc, the zinc fertilizer, the name of the fertilizer is zinc, and zinc is also a fundamental particle. Okay, fundamental particle. So small zinc and sulfur. Zinc fertilizer supplies zinc and sulfur to the plants, to the crops, and it will maintain the quality of the crops, quality of the productions. Okay. Now, use of fertilizer in agricultural activities. Yes, without fertilizer we can't plant the commercial crops. Okay, in our paddy field, in our jute field, in our sunlight crops, or in many kind of crops, or the social forestry, or the natural forestry. Nowadays we are trying to supply fertilizer. It may be natural, or it may be organic, or it may be the chemical fertilizer. Okay, so I have already completed the discussion. This is very easy chapter. You have to read through the books attentively, and I think you will be able to learn so many things like this. So many things. I have to skip so many important topics from this chapter. So you have to use highlighter to mark the important line and learn about this. If we will able to learn or goes through the chapter, you will be able to answer each and every creative questions made from this chapter. Okay, if the creative questions, the knowledge based questions, the analytical ability questions, you will be able to answer if you can complete the reading all the chapter again and again, almost 3 times. Almost 3 times you have to read this chapter again and again, and mark the important lines. It will help you to gather the general knowledge also. It will help you in the further studies, I know. Okay, thank you very much for staying with me. Your homework will be by using highlighter. You have to make only 30 knowledge based questions from this chapter. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.